You're tuning in to the Goldylocks presentation of the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine Show with Anthony Rodriguez. Anthony Rodriguez, aka Walking Crow, found transformational energy healing through a personal search and a healing and was transformed by this experience. He made the decision to pursue training and has since become a certified energy healing practitioner with an emphasis on working with clients in recovery from addiction. His willingness to be open and listen has allowed him to be of service to many who seek a peaceful, serene, and healthier body, mind, and spirit. Enjoy this transformational and healing show.
And welcome to another Tuesday edition of the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine. Boy, am I glad to have you guys back. I am so excited. We have my special guest later today is going to be Jeanne Hartnett, and she is a medicine woman of extraordinary proportions. And I'm excited to share about earthing and grounding, the ground earth medicine with you that she has to offer and share. I just can't wait. I'm so excited. Anyways, before we get started, I want to burn a little sage and smudge the studio. I have a new look in the studio. I have a new angle, so don't worry about that you're not seeing the tapestry today. And I'm asking Creator Great Spirit to clear all the channels, clear all the phones, all the computers, and all the equipment that we use to broadcast, so we would be a clear channel, that I would be cleared, that my producer, Tiffany White Sage Woman, would be clear, that Angela would be clear, and we would be able to transmit a beautiful and healing message to all those that need to hear it across the city here in Los Angeles, across Phoenix where Angela is, across the United States, and around the world. Aho oishino wana honata. Aho. All right. Okay, so first thing, we're going to move into the show, but one of the first things I want to do is I want to get started on my calendar where I'm going to be, and I want to remind you. You see, that was last week, so that's done. February today's show, Transformational Sacred Medicine Show, every Tuesday and today, always at 1 p.m. Pacific time, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And on, March 18th, I am going to be doing ceremony manifestation of love and grace with Anthony Rodriguez Walking Crow at the Church of Truth. That's going to be $20. You can pay for that on Eventbrite, or you can pay for it the day of the event at 6 p.m. at Church of Truth in Pasadena, and you can find that event on my event page on my events page on Facebook. And also, what else do we have going on here? March 17th, Sound Vibration Magic Drum Journey at 8 o'clock on Thursday. I will be transmitting live. And I will be taking you on Journey live at 8 p.m. free on Facebook. All right, so what else do we have going on here? March 3rd, I will be doing This Side of Consciousness with Anthony Rodriguez Walking Crow at a new studio and a new venue for myself in Ventura at 12 West Main Street in Ventura, at Oranda Rising, and that's going to be $40 per person. It's limited capacity of 10 people, so you'll only be able to fit 10 people, so sign up for that really quick. And then on the 24th of March, we have my drum making workshop, a Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine workshop, making of drums. It's going to be a 2-day workshop, 2 hours on Saturday and 2 hours on Sunday, and we'll be soaking the skins. We'll be setting an intention with the frame. We will be doing ceremony, offering tobacco, and burning sage, and teaching you how to make a drum in a good way. Okay, so let me take a look at something real quick here. Okay, so let me take. So I was just told that they're not able to hear me very well. So maybe that fixed it. I did something, and maybe you all can hear me now. Is that the case? You guys can hear me now? Can somebody give me a high five or a yes or something? Yes, no, no, yes. So I'm not doing anything different today. I have no, I'm doing everything through my phone. Nobody can hear me apparently. And I'm online. Can you hear me now? Do I have a clear voice now? Can somebody give me a yes or a no? Something that doesn't include a thumbs up, yes or no. Can I be heard now? Hello? Yes. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. I don't know what was going on there. That was bizarre. And I went through all my announcements about, where I'm going to be. I'm not going to do that again because that takes up way too much time. And we need to move on with the show. I want to be able to bring my special guest Angela on. And hold on a sec, if you would allow me, please. I need to pull up her bio. Angela Hartnett teaches people how to effectively change their thoughts, which will ultimately change their life. And an intuitive coach and a personal mentor can assist you in raising your awareness and can begin to help you with goal setting, self-assessment, and personal discovery. Angela will change you to watch your language, set intentions, take on life-challenging spiritual practices, and much more. Angela believes wholeheartedly in creating vision boards and vision casting. Her mantra, image in that which you ultimately desire. With some guidance and support, anyone can begin to live a life of deliberate and creation and co-creation. However, you can only change if you want to change. Empower now. So I'd like to bring on Angela, and I'm hoping that I'm doing everything right and that everybody can hear me in a good way and all of that. It seems the announcements were heard. Thank you, Monica, for telling me the announcements were heard. That was weird. I can hear. Okay, everybody. Okay, it's all good. Thank you. Everybody's letting me know that all good. So let's bring Angela aboard. I can't wait to bring her aboard and start talking about what it is we're going to share today, which is grounding earth medicine. And all right, so we should be. I should be able to see Angela. I think. Do I need to see Angela? I'm not sure. But hi, Angela. How are you doing today?
Oh, hi. Oh, are we not going to be able to see each other? Hi, this is the coolest thing ever. This is very cool, I have to say, this technology.
Are you able to hear me clearly at all? Is that good?
Yes.
Everything good?
Yes.
All right.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly. I can always hear you clearly. That's why we met. So really quick, I want to do this really quick because this is something I do. I usually pull 4 cards for myself and for everybody else. What I want to do is, hold on a sec. Somebody's saying there's a lot of background noise, but I don't have anything on at all, and all my volumes are off. So what I want to do is I pulled 1 card today, and interestingly enough, it was this card, Crow Medicine, from the medicine cards. Crow Medicine, dark, light to dark, dark to light, alchemy, shape-shifting, alchemy. You know, and this is the time when we're shape-shifting, when we're letting go of those things, and we're preparing for springtime. We are going to alchemize and shape-shift ourselves into the butterfly, from the cocoon to the butterfly. And if you're not ready to do that, give one of us a call. Call in, ask questions on the show, because we're going to teach you how to start grounding and let you know why it is so important to ground. But for now, Crow medicine. Crow medicine is on the beak. I'll say it that way. So I don't know why I'm still muffled. I don't understand that. My microphone is right here. There's nothing muffling it.
Hello, hello,
It's
hello.
on my
Is that
side,
okay?
they're saying. So let's switch.
Okay. So, but I can hear you, Angela, and that's really what counts. So, Angela, tell me a little bit. You know, I mentioned we met because you speak clearly, and I just said that a few minutes ago. And I really believe that I heard your clear intention when I found you on Facebook, and I started listening to you talk about the medicines. First medicine is water. Listening to you talk about grounding and earthing and sitting with Gaia, Pachamama, Madre Tierra, Mater, Mother. You know, and I heard in your voice how important that was to you. And I was understanding because I realized how important it was to me. Tell me a little bit about how you came into your medicine and what that was like for you. I guess it would be your awakening, if you will.
My enlightenment. Well, I mean, back in the day, you know, when we had to go up hills with no shoes and socks on, backwards in the snow. I mean, it happened in 2005. It was about the time The Secret came out. That's where it started. A dear friend of mine, Scott Runyon, told me about chemtrails, and I went and Google gods. I started having all these questions. And then in 2007, 2008, I had some big shifts, and I had been participating in 100-day challenges where you co-create your reality was what it was called. It was 100-day challenges, and it was formed by these amazing women, and I started doing it. And I didn't get YouTube famous. Some of the other girls did. I didn't. Sweet, mute your audio is what someone is saying to me. Is it messed up or something?
I don't know. I can hear you clearly.
Okay. Well, so I started doing 100-day challenges, and I've done 19 100-day challenges since 2007. And that was where you just start, you know, intending, and you start co-creating and manifesting, and you do it from an attitude of gratitude, and you take on these practices. And I, at that time, was reading all kinds of, you know, self-help books, and anywhere from Tony, the guy who wrote The Code, Tony Burrows. I connected with Lulu Massé, who started the 100-day challenge. And I've read, you know, all the Dr. Dyer books. I've read the Law of Attraction books, you know, as many of us may have, the 4 Agreements. We all, Wayne Dyer, you know, all of the books. I started as reading and filling myself with education. But then it didn't become really like self-evident until I was asked with my partner to go to a land blessing, which was a Native American ceremony. And I'd been working in a spa, and I'd been learning about aromatherapy and grounding, and I was just awakening to that. I'd never heard of what this whole, I didn't even know what a chakra was. Like, I don't know anything. Still don't know anything, but, you know, that's a part of the awakening is I remember the day I learned what a chakra was. Anyway, we went to a land blessing, and it was that day that I was crying and moved so much because of what the Native American elder talked about, which was the water. And I was incredibly changed from that day forward. And it was because of what that Native American man had said that really shifted my entire consciousness. So that's really the day that I felt, I mean, I was crying so incredibly hard. I was so moved. That's when, you know, the spirit entered me and changed my life, as it were, right? Like I was moved, my consciousness changed from that day forward. So there's just something about when a Native American elder speaks in their native tongue too. It's an incredibly powerful experience.
I bet. And with regard to the earthing, to you putting your feet on the ground and drinking water and honoring water, first medicine. because you're incredibly passionate about that. When I hear you talk about it, when I see your videos and you're out at the river or wherever you are, you know, I almost feel like you give yourself to the earth.
You know, I feel like the main thing that shifted my life was beginning to hear how the elders, the Native American elders, speak about the earth. And like I listened to Grandma Agnes Pilgrim. I've been able to sit in circle with her numerous times, meet her, tend to her. She's one of the 13 Indigenous grandmothers. I've had the high honor of being with some amazing women in ceremony now. And like, you know, my dearest and most sweetest sister, Shauna Home, and listening to their stories of ceremony. And when you get into circle with other women, especially women, you know, we really open up circle. And so I've been able to sit with women as, you know, the red tent or the moon lodge would have been, where the women come together once a month in that time that we bleed, and in that time that we are nursing our babies, and in that time that we're raising the children, so that we could hear the elders speak, you know, so that we could hear one another's stories. Felt very passionate after Grandma Aggie shared with me, and again, another elder speaking about the water. Grandma Aggie speaks about the water often. So it's all about the fact that we, each and every one of us, come from the water. And after having carried a baby in my tummy, I know that has just really spoken to me. I wish that I'd known the level of the consciousness around this before I had birthed my daughter 21 years ago, but I didn't. So I only know now what I know, which is, like I said, very little, but the water is the most sacred element to us. Without water, we will die. And listening to elders speak about the element of water, it got into my heart. And so now I share a little bit of what I have felt with my own connection to the water now, because of, you know, really what someone else had shared with me. And then my own experience of that connection with the water really shifted me.
Yeah, wow. I want to remind the listeners that you are listening to the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine with Anthony Rodriguez, Walking Crow. And my special guest today is Angela Hartnett. Excuse me, I always get your last name wrong. And you can dial in and ask questions at area code 323-870-3791. So, you know, one of the things that I noticed with you, even in your home, you know, I know that because we talk a lot, we communicate a lot. I know a lot about you. You take baths a lot. And it's not just about taking a bath and getting clean. There's deeper levels to that that I understand about you. And I know it's about being in the medicine, giving yourself that medicine. Just as important as being grounded and sitting on Mother Earth and sitting on the roots of a tree, or being within the circular rotation of the energies of a tree from branches to root, from branches to root. You do that, and it's impressive because I don't get the opportunity to do that. And I go to the ocean. I go wherever I can find water, I'll go. But you seem to, like, even in your home, you seem to go to that, be able to go to that place. And can you explain the importance of doing that for yourself on a daily and sometimes bi-daily basis and tri-daily basis? You know, because I think it's a wonderful medicine, and most of us don't have the opportunity to be able to do that. And you get to honor yourself in that way. And I really love that you get to do that.
Oh, I've had so many women say to me, how is it that you take so many baths? And I said, well, I love taking baths. I've always loved taking baths. I love being in warm water. It's like my favorite thing ever since I was little. So it's not like I just started this. It's that I just got more conscious about it. So one of the biggest pieces to this is setting sacred space for yourself. It's not just going and taking a bath. You know, it's about setting sacred space, making a ritual sacred bath for yourself. You can do this in the shower, but it's not quite as cool. You can use the shower as your temple. I definitely, and I have connected with quite a few sisters that feel the same way. You have to set sacred space for yourself to do the deep emotional work that I know I'm called to do, which is mostly clearing, self-forgiveness, self-love, like learning to love my body and myself as, because my body hurts sometimes. It's hard to be in a body. And also because the body can relax deeply when it's in warm water. And so bringing yourself into that depth of relaxation is also anti-aging. But I don't know about anybody else, but I'll go for some anti-aging. But it's kind of like anti-gravity in a way. You're putting yourself in a space that you can deeply drop in and relax and meditate. And it's amazing to begin to nurture the body on a regular basis this way. It's such a practice of self-love.
You know, I used to, you mentioned the shower. I used to get in the shower and I would pray that Creator Great Spirit would wash over me and that I would be cleansed of the things that I no longer needed to carry. And I would, you know, just say a simple prayer like that. And I would stay under the, I know in California we have a drought and we're not supposed to, but when I had the opportunity, I would do that because I felt it was that important. It was important to do that for myself, to give that to myself. Just like it's important for me to take a couple hours, maybe a couple of times a week and go out into a canyon or a mountain someplace and sit on the earth and be mindful of the trees and the animals and the birds of the air and the rocks and the things that are around me that I usually take granted. I usually take those things for granted. And normally in our normal space, they're covered up by cement or blacktop or buildings or whatever. So going out and seeking those things for me is really important. And I know that when you were living in Spokane you would drive out to the river every day. And I would always log into your videos because I wanted to be there with you.
Well, that was the river from where the city from where I was born. So it's very powerful to connect to the water there. And one thing that happened to me was the experience of being around some highly charged, gorgeous water in ceremonies and having the water literally not processed, but like a processional. They came in, bringing in the water in the most beautiful vase. And some of the ceremonies I've been in where we're honoring the depth of water and how sacred it is. I mean, I now have witnessed and experienced like very beautiful high states of consciousness from being in such a crystalline container in ceremony. It's different than just going to church. It's different than just going to the river. When you're with other people in ceremony like that and you get to experience the charge, then when you go to the river or when you go to the lake or when you go to the ocean, the power that water has on this planet, it's to the ocean, it's connecting to the moon, it's connecting to the tides. And so water is an incredible element to connect to. And it's known and scientifically proven that it helps with negative ions, which again is anti-aging. So all these practices are actually stress-reducing, anti-aging practices of self-love, self-nurturance, and self-care.
Yeah. I love talking about that myself. I mean, years ago, just going to coffee in the morning was a gift to myself because I would hang out with like a group of guys that were just like 7 to 8, 10 guys and, from all different professions, guys from the movie industry, television, attorneys, people in suits, people in tattoos, people in everything. And it was a real pleasure for me to be able to be there with these guys because I would never allow myself to do that kind of stuff. Keep your nose to the grindstone and all that stuff. There's a lot more to life than just going to work and earning a living. The there's a lot more to life about being in life and earning a life, and not even having to earn it, to be in my own life. You know, taking 2 hours out of a day to sit down and read a book. You know, taking a nap during the day. I think I'm famous for taking naps during the day, because I'll take a nap from anywhere from 10 minutes to 2 hours, you know, and I love it because it's a way of honoring oneself, you know, and I know that you honor yourself in the same way, you know, and like I said,
Yeah.
I don't always get an opportunity to go up to the mountain or to the ocean, or to, you know, I have to find it. Sometimes it's as much as little as going into the backyard, sitting under the orange tree, you know, on the grass for however long I can, or waking up in the morning and sitting in a chair and allowing the sun to wash over me as it rises, you know. Those things are just sacred to me, and they're wonderful medicines. Wonderful medicines.
I think what you and I are talking about is something people are doing, but there's a process of bringing something into the unconscious, meaning you're not really aware of it, just kind of on autopilot, so to speak. So you're bringing something that's maybe normal for you,
Yeah.
and you're putting it in a space in your life that's bringing it to the conscious, meaning you're aware of it. It's deliberate. It's intentional. It's for a purpose. The unconscious doesn't really have purpose. The conscious has purpose, and that purpose is connected. And that purpose is connected to what you talk about, the fuego. But the first element is water and earth, right? So those elements are slower and powerful, or they're faster, and they're, you know, it depends on what's happening. If it's a creek, maybe it's trickling along, it feels very gentle. If it's the ocean, it's very forceful, it's very powerful. So there's different kinds of medicine within the earth. Maybe you really love going on a hike and going up, you know, really high on a mountain. Or maybe it's sitting really low in a valley. Maybe it's finding stones and sitting on boulders. There's aspects to this that could be specific. The medicine of a waterfall versus the medicine of a creek. And for me, I found, generally speaking, the ocean is quite powerful for me, and it isn't my preference. Unless I really need to release something, I prefer subduing myself around calm waters. And I've been able to experience baby ducklings coming with their mamas in the wee hours of the morning in this sanctuary space of absolute safety on a lake in the calm morning waters. I mean, you get to give yourself these gifts when you tune in. You get to watch dragonflies go across the grass and an ant climb slowly over a little hill. It's a gift to witness what's happening.
You know what's interesting? It just occurred to me that after you and I met on social media, you and I came together and met in Mount Shasta, in Shasta, at the headwaters of the Sacramento River, Sangre, Sagrado, sacred. And you and I did ceremony there. We didn't just do ceremony, we sat on the earth next to the river, the headwaters where it comes out of the rock, the mountain. And I want to stress that, everybody, where the water comes out of the rock, the headwaters. And for me, that was, you know, I went there seeking, because I went to do a release there. And what I got was something magnificent, because you and I sat in the dirt, being eaten by flies and ants for about 2 hours, and just talked about what it is we do, where it is we have been, where it is we are going. And I didn't realize, I guess I did realize how powerful that was, but it just came to me. You saw it, my emotion came up when I started to talk about it, and it comes up again. Whew, that is a powerful investment for me. I drove 11 hours to get there. 11 hours. And I turned around and came back the next day. But boy, what a blessing, what just an absolute blessing. I got to drink from the headwaters, you know, to walk on the rocks at the headwaters with you in the water, to play drums and sing our songs of prayer and gratitude. And see, this is what catapults me into the fourth dimension. When I talk about the fourth dimension of the medicines that I carry, the medicines that you carry, and the medicines that we share, it's not that nobody else has this, is that we're afforded the small opportunities more than others to actually do it a little bit more, and it's really intensified the more you do it. I believe it is. What's your feeling about that? What was your feeling about meeting at that place of the water, of the rock?
Well, Mount Shasta is an incredibly powerful place. It's, I get layers revealed to me about what Mount Shasta is. There's so many layers, but one of the first layers for me makes me want to cry. The opportunity to drink out of a river. Many of the rivers are poisoned, and the water is poisoned, and the skies are poisoned, and the earth is being poisoned. So I don't know, not many people probably, unless they've had the opportunity to go to Mount Shasta or drink out of one of the springs, but have had the chance to literally take your hand from the river and bring it to your mouth. It's a very powerful thing and uncommon nowadays. It used to be that we could drink out of the rivers, and we cannot do that anymore because the water is being poisoned. The water is not clean like it used to be. And so the opportunity to get to meet at one of the most powerful vortexes on there and shared some gifts with you and to be able to share with a brother, it was an amazing day. But also what was happening there was, spirit working through me at the time, doing a lot of healing, spirit working through you at that time, doing a lot of healing. Because when you see other people's medicines and you honor and respect it, it's like a relationship that is different, right? It's like there's a brotherhood and a sisterhood that happens when there's tobacco shared, when there's ceremony shared, when you share water and when you share your medicine with people. And that's why it's so important that we honor each other and deeply connect with other brothers and sisters and people that hear you and I talk and they're like, I want what they've got. I showed up like you. We show up for an experience. We don't know what's going to happen, but we make ourselves available so that we can be spoken to, so that spirit can move. And little did I know that I would be so deeply moved and have such a connection with the water like this. But it was because I went and I listened to someone speak. I went and showed up for my teachings and my certifications and things, and I show up for myself. And that piece there, that presence that you and I talk about a lot, you have to come into presence with yourself.
Yeah. And that, giving yourself the gift of your presence, and it sounds funny, it sounds goofy, but you know what? I'm dead serious about that. I give myself the presence of my presence, the presence of my presence, the gift of my presence. I know when I'm in your presence, Angela, that you fully hear me, you fully feel me, you are with me, and I am with you. And that's not always the case. And even with Tiffany White Sage Woman, when I'm talking to, when we're like messaging each other, we're laughing and giggling, but we're in a place, there's a connection that happens with certain people. And I love the connection that happens with spirit, through earth, through water, through air, through fire. It's so important. In fact, Tiffany's show the other day was just about that. It was about those things, and it moved me. It moved me, and I couldn't wait to get to today so I can talk about it with you, because it moves you. I know it's the thing that ebbs and flows not only through your spirit, but through your body, through your life. It permeates every aspect of your life. And sometimes we bug people with it. So what? Am I bugging you? Am I poking the bear with the stick? It's okay, because and some people get bugged only because they don't understand, because they don't have the opportunity to be able to do that, to complete something for themselves. But if they even just take the time to get out of bed and don't move, don't go anywhere, don't touch the phone, don't touch the coffee, don't touch the keys, don't touch the TV, just sit at the edge of your bed, close your eyes, allow Mother Earth energy to flow through your feet or through your perineum, and take the breath and stoke your own fire in your third chakra, taking the breath, air, I love and laugh, giving yourself love in that, 30 seconds or a minute that you take that time before you actually get out of the bed. For me, that's what that starts, and I know you drink water first thing. Down the hatch, and I know that about you, and people need to know the benefits of connecting in that way, not just through coffee or tea in the morning or, jumping in the shower, just being mindful of you, of the gift, of the present, that is just, I can't even tell you, I can't express it, sometimes I don't have words to express it because it's way too much for me, it's just way too much.
One of the things I've been doing is apple cider vinegar and honey and warm water in the morning. It's very good for you. The biggest thing right now that I've been talking about is realizing the importance for detoxification and eating healthy and releasing out any foods are not healthy for you so that you can live healthier, hopefully a healthier and more vibrant lifestyle, which is subdued and able to be relaxed without all of the media and the social and all of the world, fake media stuff. That's not what matters. What matters is actually our connection to ourselves and to the loved ones around us, our family, our friends, and having relating. I relate to you, you relate to me. How am I relating to people around me? And that can be very hard, especially when you're a weirdo like me and like, many of us, that we find you might as well just own that you're different. That's why my business is Couture Earth Woman, because I'm couture. I'm one of a kind. I'm not like anybody else. We each have our own signatory frequency. And when we're present with that, we learn who we really are. But if we're not present and we're unconscious, then we just go along and we pretend, we put on masks so that we can be in the world in a way that we feel we can receive and be loved. But really those masks, the lack of presence with ourselves, our own self-love, the lack of that, meaning we're not present with ourselves. We're going through the motions. I did it for years because I didn't know what it was to actually ground, slow down, and I was a crazy multitasker. And in fact, I'm awesome at multitasker. I could do so many things compared to everybody else. I was so I was crazy. I was insane. And I was not, and didn't know what it was to be present. I didn't know what it was to be present with me. So it starts with yourself, and it starts with slowing down. I like to close the eyes and bring the attention back into the third eye and just sit and begin breathing. That's meditation. You don't even have to close the eyes, but when you close the eyes, you're bringing your attention to the pineal gland, which is the third eye. The endocrine system has glands. Pineal gland is part of your endocrine system.
I want to remind everybody. I want to remind everybody that if you're having trouble with the sound, and some people are, you can call into 323-870-3791 and you can listen to the show, or you can press 1 and you can ask Angela or myself a question. You can get a healing, you can get a reading, you can get a blessing, whatever it is that you're looking for, whatever it is that you need today. But feel free to call. Once again, that's 323-870-3791. And I want you to know that you're listening to my special guest, Angela Jeanne Hartnett. I got it right that time. And this is the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine Show with Anthony J. Rodriguez, Walking Crow. And we're talking about earthing today. We're talking about grounding, being with earth medicine. And, you know, air, I believe that air is, oh, and you said something about earlier, you said matter. Whenever you say matter, and this is because I've been listening to you, you usually say it in the context of Mother Earth, Gaia, Madre Tierra, Pachamama. When you were talking about when we, you know, interacting with each other, and I heard the word matter, I directly went to Mother. I always go to Mother now because I'm a firm believer that Mother Earth, well, in meetings, when you do ceremony, when you do sweat lodge, you go back to the womb. You go back to Mother and how important that is. And that's another thing that I think we take for granted. You know, not even in real life sometimes we take our mothers for granted, but we take Mother Earth for granted and what she really is, and she's creation. A volcano is no different, and you might want to slap me for this, than a birth canal when a child is being birthed and born. You know, an island is being born somewhere in an ocean someplace, or our land is expanding because Mother Earth is releasing and allowing her birth canal to be used into the creation of life for us, and not just for us, you know, for all things. So when you say matter, matter, I'm just like, if I light up like a firefly, it's like, oh, there's that word again, you know. And I learned that from you, Angela. I didn't learn that anywhere else.
Well, I've been I'd been praying about some things because I had learned about mtDNA, and I was researching some things about the clan mothers, and that we are the earth guardians and we are the stewards of the earth. And as women, I'd heard this when it came around about Standing Rock, that the grandmas are out there holding eagle feathers and they're saying, we are the daughters of the earth. You are the sons, we are the sons and the daughters of the earth, and we're here, and we don't need to fight anymore. We're here, and we want to be at peace, and we want to preserve the sacred waters, and we want to preserve the sacred sky and the earth. And there's old grandmas out holding a feather, an eagle feather. There's grandmas, you know, tying themselves to trees so that they won't, you know, take out trees for these pipelines. There's Native American, Indigenous women and men fighting for our water, and we don't understand because we take for granted what we just go to the water fountain or the water faucet and water comes out. But in other countries, the water and the earth is polluted. They don't have clean water, or their water is like water you could ever think of. And we go to the bathroom here in clean water. So it's just something to become conscious about. When you look at something and you take it from an unconscious place and you bring it into the conscious, that's what we need to do, is awaken to the things that we are taking for granted.
You know, you just used the word awakened again, and I'm reminded that, you know, awaken, you know, there are those who talk about awakening, and they talk about this place up here, this woo-woo place, and that's all well and good, but I have to tell you, you and I know that when one awakens, I'm going to say this, the scales fall from your eyes and you start to see clearly, and it can be painful, it can be hurtful. Having the understanding of what's really going on around you can be painful, and how can I be with that information? How can I live in the world like this? How can I not watch the news and see what's going on and not be aware? Well, I don't have to watch the news to know that I'm aware and that there's stuff going on out there. But if I get involved in all of that, I know that I won't be grounded, and I won't be able to help from where I'm standing. I won't be able to vibrate out what it is I'm able to offer with those around me who are at arm's length or longer or farther, and to give them an opportunity to teach them, to become a working tool. I'm a working tool, and help people to understand that, yes, it's painful, but this is what you can do if you want to help. You don't have to sit in front of the television for 12 hours a day, filling yourself up with poison, you know, just because you can turn it on. Because frankly, if this, I won't show the label, if this said poison on it, would I drink it? No.
And we can't
So
drink oil. We drink oil. We won't be drinking oil. Without water, we will die. And, you know, that's maybe for a different show talking about it, but the importance of making sure that we are protecting the waters is really important. And also, I would say the piece that's so important is moving that energy that maybe does get fiery and does get upset, and moving that into sacred action that's intentional and deliberate so that you feel significant. You feel like you matter. You feel like you are connected, that you are working in sync with the mother energy, the healing energy, the water energy, the clearing energy, so that we can clean things up. I believe that's an allegory of what's actually happening. And much of what is happening is all seemingly connected. And when you pay attention, you can see how when things get brought forward, the elements are literally talking to us.
Yeah.
And so as we're moving energy and you feel upset and you feel an anger or frustration or anything, I have 2 projects for this next year that I'm really excited about. And I'm wanting to move my energy so that I can feel like I am a significant part of helping. And that's so important to feel rooted. It's important to feel significant within yourself, to feel really rooted, and having some sacred action brings that energy up, and you're able to move the energy of any frustration or anger even, or really a deep resolve. By getting involved in sacred action in some capacity will help us move that energy, not just be procreative, but co-creative. And that's the second chakra, that movement energy, making love to life, if you will.
Oh, I say yes. Here.
Well, I'll be the first to say, I get a little fiery. I get upset with things when I see, because when we have foresight, when we see, when we feel, and we know that something could happen. If this happens, then we see the repercussions. If we fail to not speak and take sacred action, then what good is it? Because I believe, like many of us, when you know better, you do better. So we have to come into our knowing and be forthright and stand in our fortitude. You talk about this all the time. Being rooted is going to mean being fruited, which means what I'm doing, I'm vibrating out in a positive way, because I can stew in some negativity, but that doesn't feel good. So moving it in a good, positive way is what we want to do.
Yeah. And I've had to learn how to shift my my passionate anger, I will say. I've had to learn how to shift that. I just can't get angry and be in anger. For me, my anger has to be productive. It's got to be able to offer something to somebody. And I noticed that what's happened with me lately, and if anybody follows me on Facebook knows, and on Instagram, I see a lot of people post a lot of memes, a lot of quotes from other people. I seem to be on fire in the place of expression, of sharing. I always have questions, and I always have these quotes that have come to me. And because of the medicine and because of the willingness to be in my letting go of the anger and to find a constructive way to do something with it, being grounded, being earth, taking out my drum, offering tobacco, having an outlet for it, not just, staring at the TV and yelling, hey, mother effer, at whoever you're yelling at the TV. No, that doesn't do anything. And I've coined this phrase over the last few weeks, poking the bear with the stick. Am I bothering you? Because I want to move people. I want people to I want to be, I don't want to say that I want to be heard, but I want to be heard in a way that's good, in a way that's productive and constructive, you know, and I know that you're that the same way, you know, and that's why I think I wanted to talk about earthing and being grounded and all those things today, because for me, that is that's the 101, the 101 class, the beginning class of being in self and being in awareness and being in learning how to change, how to speak and how to act instead of react, you know, and it's been an interesting road for that, because you know what, I used to throw stones. I used to have, when I was a little kid, I remember having, you know, I was a kid that would throw himself in the floor in the middle of the market. I'm not saying I was, but I could have been, I don't know, you know, having a fit. In fact, you know what's interesting, I'm going to share this quick story. My father had a 1963 Ford Galaxy, and one day we went to the store. And when we got to the store, you know, I always knew that I wanted to go to the store, because if I went to the store, I always got something. You know what I mean? And I must have been about 3 or 4 years old. And this is a story about fifth chakra. This is a story about holding energy and not knowing how to communicate what it is I need to communicate. My father went into the store and said, "Stay here." What? My insides exploded. What? And he went inside, and I got mad, and I went rummaging through the glove boxes, and I was leaning. I remember it was a hot day. I was leaning on the dashboard, and in those days they were foam, and this car was turquoise, by the way. And I took a pen, and I went da 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 da, and I poked holes in that dashboard. And when he got back and he saw that, I was done. My goose was cooked. And I got, rightly so, my father thrashed me, because I thrashed that car, because I didn't know fifth chakra. Moving forward, I didn't know how to speak as a child. No one was teaching me. My father was an alcoholic. My mother was an enabler. And when those two get together, there's not a lot of communication. A lot of times it turns into arguing and yelling and ignoring and other forms of non-communication. Well, it's still communication, but it's unhealthy communication, and that's what I was taught, and that's what I did. And, you know, I'm not ashamed of it now as a man, but I was sure ashamed of it as a little kid. And I didn't know what it was, and I didn't know how to fix it. And I didn't know how to fix it. It took another 50 years, 5 to figure out and understand what was wrong with me. And then I spent a year teaching fifth chakra communication, vibration outward. You know, and
well, a lot of people have neck and shoulder issues because we're not lifting our heart and being in an opened throat chakra, because we don't, society, culture, we're not taught to live from the heart. So we got protective mechanisms going on, plus a lot of people sit at computers. But when you're not holding in the throat, this will be able to relax. So practice is literally, you know, breathing into the neck. There's a bunch of, you know, shoulder raising and moving the neck around. And working on the throat chakra is a practice. I have recently been showcasing a few of my practices where I literally just use my harmonium or my drum or my rattle, and I just make noise to keep your throat open. And that means vibrant and alive. It's supposed to be clear. And I work on clearness because that's one area that I specifically have a lot of tightness, because I've been taught to hold in, and I'm working to give it to the world to share. You know, I care so much that I'm protecting my heart, and I need to open my heart and tell what it is that I'm sharing, needing to share. That will keep you open.
You know, there's something that I do when I try to get people to get into their bodies, and I know that they have a block here. And I know if they have a block here, they have a block in their first chakra. So I get them to stomp their feet. I do this in the store where I work part-time, and it looks funny, and they're embarrassed, but they do it. I get them to stand up and start stomping the feet, and I call it chi grading with fifth chakra hands. And just, you know, stick your tongue and make a face and let it out. Just cheek grating, not cheek grating. And what's great about that exercise is when we're done, we're both looking at each other just laughing. It comes from the third chakra, the heart. It comes from the connection in the second chakra, where we connected in that moment with those things. And I'm not holding their holding of energy against them. You know what I mean? Most people hold their holding of energy against others, and it's because they hold things against others that they don't speak and they don't say. I get them to do something totally stupid, but totally brilliant for themselves, and they understand that there's no judgment around it because I look just as silly and dumb as they do doing it. And that's a wonderful thing. You know, when in Rome, you know, what's the saying? Water seeks its own level, always, you know, and why not teach people to seek their own level in that way, you know, in a good way, in a balanced way, you know, walking in the way of balance, walking in the way of beauty. And, you know, walking in the way of beauty sometimes looks dumb or goofy or silly, but who cares? You know, who cares?
There's a practice where you hold your feet. Hold on. Where you hold your toes. Hold both of them. And you hold them in the air and you try and balance. And it helps clear the monkey mind. It's actually a yoga pose.
Oh.
And that.
Only the transformation of medicine here is.
So, and like shaking it out, hitting your body, getting really present and being here is one of the first things that I like to do when I set space. Let's just arrive here. Let's just, and that voice generally comes like, and I'll even guide people like, let's sigh for a few rounds to get that sound. Helps you arrive. It helps you get present.
I want to remind everybody that you're listening to the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine with my special guest, Angela Jeanne Hartnett. My name is Anthony Rodriguez, Walking Crow. And Angela, tell the listening audience how they can contact you for what it is to be mentored or to learn about your medicine or whatever it is that you do, how they can contact you and be a part of a different space, being present, being the gift, being in the gift.
So they can go to my website, which is angelajeannehartnett.com, ANGELAJEANNEHARTNETT.com. And that is my personal page where I've got two projects. One is called Holistic Wholeness and one is called Beyond Vegan. And those are two projects that I'm using to kind of as sacred activism / co-creating some things that are present for me. And if you have some ideas that you would like to bring into the world, I have my business, which is Vision Alliance Consulting. And I help brand people do their social media management, banners, and get their Etsy shop set up and whatever you need, I can help you do all that. And then, is that all? I was going to say that there was another one. Yeah, so those are the two, pretty much. Vision Alliance and Angela Jeanne Hartnett.
Cool. And anybody who wants to set up a long distance energy healing or make an appointment with me for energy healing if you're here in Los Angeles or long distance, you can reach out to me at Anthony@sacreddrummedicine.com, or you can call my office at area code 818-442-1717. Or you can go to my website at www.sacreddrummedicine.com and see what it is exactly that I do. I really, really want to thank Angela. Angela, thank you for being on the show. And for me, it's always a joy. And, you know, interesting about all the gremlins and things that showed up in the technology today. It's weird. It's usually not the case, but I'm going to attribute it to there's a trifecta effect going on here. One is you. One is Tiffany, White Sage Woman, who runs the show. She drives the show, and it's me. And that's a lot of intense energy if you really want to think about it. And, you know, there are some energies in this world that don't want us to be heard. that absolutely don't. But we're going to be heard anyways because we are in who we are, and we stand in the power in who and what we say we are, in who and what we be we are. I'm going to say it that way. And I really want to thank you for coming and being on the show with me. And,
Thanks for
feel free to leave messages on the broadcast. You can listen to the show or watch the show on Goldylocks Productions on YouTube channel. You can listen to the show on iHeartRadio. You can listen to it you can come to my page and find the links for it, or you can go to my YouTube page at Anthony Rodriguez Walking Code Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine show or medicine to listen and watch this show as well. Once again, I want to thank everybody for coming to the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine show. My name is Anthony Rodriguez Walking Crow, and I want to thank you and say I love you, and we'll see you next week.